All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Innocent Villains podcast. You see Ryan Scheidmantel
Which
right
one's
here.
this?
This is, I think this is 9.
9.
This is 9.
Official studio.
Official-
We've jumped around.
Official studio. We've jumped around all over from your garage to my living room. Now we are in my loft.
Yeah.
And let me get on level with you a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Get
There
down.
we go.
Get down.
Let me adjust it here. This is the first time in the new studio. Hopefully this is the permanent studio for the show. But nevertheless, we have a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about,
Let's
dude.
talk about the Nelk boys and having Benjamin Netanyahu on the show.
What a bunch of dickheads, dude. What a bunch of dickheads.
I just don't think that they're informed.
I just don't understand, like, I don't want to immediately jump to Nick Fuentes, but this was like the biggest clip that I had watched over it all, where basically they were explaining to Nick why they did it and what Nelk really is, and you know they had the opportunity to talk to somebody, they're gonna take it, and like I don't understand. And now we watched him in real time read like this is like having the modern day Hitler on, and they kind of go, oh fuck, like
the Full Send podcast for me, what it is like it probably peaked in like 2022.
Dude, I can without a doubt tell you that I am aware of like who they are and all that, but I have absolutely zero desire to listen to, to watch any of their videos. Like it just does not. It's something that resonates with people our age for sure, but not people who are us and in our shoes. Yeah. Especially on the political side of things. Like I never once look at them talking to OnlyFans models or talking to Bradley Martin or any of these people and go, you know what? I think a perfect person for you to interview is fucking Benjamin Netanyahu. Like that's just insane to me.
I mean, granted, they did have Trump on, and they were one of the first people to have Trump on, and then I think it got taken down. Was that right, that first one?
Yeah, it got taken down almost immediately, I think.
Yeah, because I remember Steve Will Do It was there, but he was like kind of in the side, and they didn't let him on. Anyway, so the Nelk boys had Benjamin Netanyahu on their show, and it didn't go very well. Public opinion was completely against this episode, and obviously, the Nelk boys are like these guys in their late 20s, early 30s. They used to do pranks. Everybody remembers the pranks. Then they got the Full Send podcast, and now they seem to be interviewing one of the worst people on the earth, really.
Yeah, and nobody did their I guess studying up.
No,
I mean, when you want to talk about Israel, especially in the age demographic that they are, pandering to and reaching to. Israel's not liked.
No. And if you were wondering if the interview was like groundbreaking at all, or if they asked like hardball questions, well, here's a clip from the interview that the Nelk boys did with Benjamin Netanyahu, and the subject material is just very groundbreaking. Correct. Very interesting.
Correct.
What's your go-to at McDonald's?
No, I'll tell you Burger King.
What's your go-to at McDonald's? What's your go-to at McDonald's? If that doesn't sound like a frat bro question, dude, I don't know what does.
He's sitting across from somebody who is literally committing genocide at this fucking very second.
Killed about 110,000 people, innocents, not even combatants, innocents, and it's quite. What's your go-to at McDonald's?
You fuck with the McRib or what?
We're 3 seconds into the clip, and this is just groundbreaking, astounding information. What a cerebral conversation.
Oh, God.
Let's continue.
We did the double,
Whopper?
The double.
I haven't ripped Burger King in a long time.
Burger King kind of sucks.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
The BK Lounge can hit.
I disagree completely.
You like Burger King over McDonald's?
Imagine interviewing the most powerful person on the planet, arguably, and you're asking him about fucking McDonald's.
And they go, Burger King kind of sucks. Like, that is a legit.
What?
That is a legit fucking sentence that comes out of his mouth.
This is we're gonna finish it up.
McDonald's?
That's your worst take, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a crazy take.
That's your worst take. Call me crazy.
You're crazy.
I think his worst take may have been just eliminating 110,000 people from the face of the earth.
No, dude, it's liking the Whopper over the Big Mac.
I don't know.
Sure.
Ethnic cleansing maybe is like the second, maybe the worst thing.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
It's neck and
That's
neck, dude.
crazy.
Neck and neck.
That's crazy. So that was the Nelk boys interview of Benjamin Netanyahu. Obviously, a very hard-hitting question there.
Right.
And the internet came for them.
And did they even touch on Iran at all?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Because I know that they were talking a lot about Hamas I know that Hamas was like one of his scapegoats for every answer. Hamas is stealing food and whatever else, but like you don't even really get into the nitty gritty about what just recently happened. Like, hey, maybe let's corner you. Hey, did you corner the U.S. by bombing Iran and making us enter the war?
Okay, so
the Whopper is fucking mid.
Yeah, exactly what you're talking about is what happened. And people were, hold on. Sorry about that. So yeah, what you're saying, he basically blamed Hamas as like the scapegoat for all of his decisions. Yeah. And granted, Hamas is not we're not advocating for Hamas. Don't you hate how we have to keep clarifying that? But here is Bibi Netanyahu answering a question about the starving children in Gaza. And listen, for all of the shit that the Nelk boys were getting, at least they asked him about this question. But like, there's no pushback at all. Here's the clip.
Why do they say Israel's like starving the people of Gaza?
Well, because we're trying to get the food in, and we let food trucks in, and guess what happens when we let them in? Hamas steals the food.
Yeah,
of course.
That's ridiculous.
Of course.
And I was trying to do my research real quick because I'm about 90% sure, but didn't Israel prop up Hamas? Mm-hmm. That's what I was.
Bibi Netanyahu was actually instrumental in
that's what
propping up Hamas.
I was trying to get the 100% fact, but yeah.
Let's finish this and then we'll go off.
Go ahead.
Takes the good chunk for itself. Then they jack up the prices, and then they sell the food to its population, to its hungry population, if they give them at all. And then use the money that they take from their own people to recruit more killers into their terror machine.
Do you know how much money Israel gets from our country on average every year?
Like 20 billion?
Well, 4 billion on average, but last year, yes, it was like 20 billion. Yeah. They've gotten like 17 billion so far this year.
And
it all goes to the weapons.
Didn't we just sign one for weapons deals last week?
Yes, actually. We signed it was 6 congressmen and congresswomen that were opposed. The rest was,
like 400 and some. Yeah. 4 and that's
it was about 420, I think.
Right.
420 to like 6.
Right. Well, it's time to glaze Nick Fuentes again.
Yeah.
He brought this up, and you don't even have to find the clip on that because I'll spew it. What other issue, especially when it comes to helping Americans, like giving them health care, giving them any sort of I guess, assistance or anything, it's always split down the middle. Democrats, Republicans, the big, beautiful bill, 50-50. Mm-hmm. Everything is split down the middle, voted on how it should be. But then when it comes to, giving more money to our closest ally in order for them to get weapons deals, we're sitting here and going 400 and whatever to 6.
Yeah. And that's
how
the crazy
asinine
thing.
Is that?
That's the crazy thing. I can't find the clip here.
And how can our government officials only agree? Anything that it has to do with American citizens, they are split because it's either not their side who's proposing the bill or whatever. But as soon as Israel is on the docket, everybody gets their vote.
It's always that. It's always been the case. And it's so crazy, too, because it was a bipartisan amount of people that voted against the bill to provide Israel with $500 million. I believe the number was $5 million, for
That's
weapons.
What I thought it was, too.
More weapons. And interestingly enough, it was Marjorie Taylor Greene, it was Thomas Massie, it was Rashida Tlaib, it was Al Green, it was Ilhan Omar, and forgive me, I'm forgetting one more Democrat member of Congress.
You know what we call them? The usual suspects.
Yeah.
The ones that aren't getting money from AIPAC.
Yeah, and that's the truth. Al Green was the guy that always stands up when you have the State of the Union. He's like...
he's a fucking...
he's the congressman from Texas that got thrown out of last time. It is what it is, whatever. But you have to respect all those people. Listen, Ilhan Omar married her brother, so we don't usually respect her. But for this, it took a lot of courage. Credit where credit is due. Rashida Tlaib, one of the squad, a libtard you could call her.
Yeah.
Probably called for the COVID. I think she did call for the COVID, the vaccine mandates. But you know what? Credit where credit is due. Now, AOC voted for the $500 million.
Well, she's getting her little grubby hands on.
No, but she always says how she's non-lobbyist funded and always is speaking out against AIPAC and speaking out against Israel.
Correct.
I think she got the call.
Here's what I'm telling you right now. In 4 years, there will be another election. AOC is already in the polls.
Yeah.
she is going to take AIPAC money. Mark my words right now. Clip it. She is going to take AIPAC money. We'll be able to see it in 3 years when she's running.
This is very interesting.
I guarantee you. I guarantee.
On.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, in my opinion, in a perfect world, I mean, I really do respect Thomas Massie, and I, quite frankly, I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole of JD Vance and Palantir and all that stuff. I know he's the top.
He'll probably get the nod.
Correct. He's currently looking to get the nod for the Republican side in 2028. However, the Palantir thing, everything, he was very suspiciously quiet around the Epstein list when all that was going on. I don't know if you saw the report that he was actually, I forget exactly where he was. I think it was right before that story about Doodlegate broke.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a little bit of shadiness. I think he's a very well-spoken guy, but it's very hard. I mean, and you can go back in history. It's very hard for for any sort of politician to be in the running for the presidential candidacy without taking money from AIPAC.
And speaking of Doodlegate, since you brought it up,
let's get
what a crazy thing this is. I'm trying to find an article here, so forgive me. We're gonna get that article, but it's gonna take a second. What did you think about this whole thing? Do you think it's a scam? Do you think it's legit? This story by the Wall Street Journal. What do you think?
I don't know. Currently, as it stands, I want to say that it's a scam. And I say that very loosely because I know on Twitter, follow me at the Shide. I don't even know what my Twitter handle is actually. I put on Twitter that I think he's on the list. Do I genuinely believe that? I don't know. It's so hard because it's very hard for me to believe that these two larger than life figures with all this money were best friends for a decade. And you have no idea what's going on behind closed doors, no idea that he's a pedophile. And I don't know. I feel like this letter, like, where did it come from? Like, it just appeared. How is this something that wasn't brought up beforehand or addressed? Now, granted, I don't even think we touched on the Epstein topic so far. Maybe we did a little bit when, but I can't remember if we did when he snapped at the reporter. Maybe I was here for that. But like, I don't know, dude. I want Donald Trump to do well, and I'm trying to, put my blinders on when it comes to this, but we can't let child predators go unchecked. So if there genuinely is something going on within our government officials, in fucking little kids, like, that is a problem. That is such a problem. So for me, it's very hard to put blinders on when Donald Trump looks so guilty.
I mean, here's another one. This is from an hour ago. It says, breaking: CNN publishes photos of Epstein at Trump's wedding in 1993. K-File says the president told him, quote, "You've got to be kidding me," and hung up on him when he called. So, I mean, this is it. This right here is the crux of the photos. Here's the first photo right here that we have, and there's obviously Trump, and here's a couple kids. That's maybe in bad taste it was taken. Nevertheless, here is his boy Epstein. We've never seen these photos before.
Yeah. And what else haven't we
second one
seen?
here, we haven't. Yeah, I know. Well, here's another one. Once again, this is that wedding right there. So this is obviously Epstein, and this is like proof that this was his wedding.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Very interesting.
I had no clue that. I've never seen those photos before.
Correct. I mean, again, we know that they were close, so it would really be no surprise to me that there's photos like this that exist. But also, I just like. We had reports that I believe when they reached out for the jury for the files that they said, correct me if I'm wrong, was it Pam Bondi who said to flag anytime Donald Trump's name was dropped?
I believe so.
I think it was. So
I believe so.
I just, there's so much shadiness that's going on with this dude, and I just wish that this was a topic that was pressed a lot more during the actual candidacy. And I think everybody was able to just put their blinders up and go, oh, the Democrats are running a retard who wants to chop guys' dicks or boys' dicks off and, let women play in men's sports or vice versa. But it's
so indicative, right? Because we saw this huge youth turnout come out for Trump, First time ever, really,
Right.
that the young generation
Right.
skewed Republican, at least with men,
Right.
which is crazy. But here we have from AF Post, we have a CBS News poll shows a 54-point net swing downward in Trump's approval among the 18 to 29-year-olds, shifting from 55% approval and 45% disapproval in February to 28% approval and 72% disapproval in July. Here are those graphics here. We're going to flash them briefly. Right here's the first one. You see what it's based on, the different categories, right? Gender, age, ideology, party ID, race, white by education. And then you continue on over here. You have the second poll, so same thing, and it just showed the shift. This is crazy. You go from 55% and 45% disapproval to 28% and 72% disapproval. This is really, really bad.
Yeah.
Really, really bad.
Well, and I mean,
it's going to tank him in the midterms.
Exactly. And you want to talk about that. And I think that I 100% think that it all got started with Iran and Israel, and then all has now led to the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a poll here that says in February of 2024, a survey showed Democrats ages 18 to 24 rated Israel at 36 out of 100 on average, while Republicans in the same age group rated it 49 out of 100. Now, that being said, there's another poll. I lost the numbers. However, the Republican side of things has gone way down. I think it was 25 out of 100 now.
Yeah, it's no secret that everybody on the right has been influenced by Nick Fuentes. It's the truth, though.
It really is.
It's no secret that
really is.
all of the young people, especially young right-leaning men,
Yeah.
have been influenced by Nick. And so I wanted to touch back on this when we go back to the Full Send podcast. And specifically what they did after. I smacked my lips. I'm sorry.
You did.
Very sorry I smacked my lips. It's a bad habit I'm trying to eliminate. You're welcome.
Yeah.
But he went on Kick and he had this stream with the Nelk boys. And he kind of roasted them a little bit, to be honest with you. He was very critical of the interview that they had. And here's him just telling them why he thinks having Netanyahu on was a really, really bad idea, specifically on Kick on the stream. And I don't even think it was considered an episode. Was it considered a Nelk Boys Full Send episode?
I want to say it was. It was a podcast.
Was it a podcast?
Yeah. I don't think the interview wasn't live streamed.
Interesting. Well, nevertheless, here's that.
At least,
that
yeah,
clip.
I don't think it was.
Here's that clip of Nick telling the Nelk boys why, like, having Netanyahu on was a really bad decision.
I think this is my, and again, I haven't seen the whole interview, but I think that people are being critical. They see this as like a push by Netanyahu for public relations. He's going to come on your show to try to get all the young, conservative, frat guys, all the masculine men, the manosphere types, streaming types, to get back in the pocket of Israel.
Which, pause that. I mean, that's exactly what I just told you.
Yeah.
Young men ages 18 to 30 rate Israel at a 25 out of 100. So, I mean, with that polling alone.
Who happened to lean conservative and lean right.
Exactly. And Democrats were even less in that poll in 2024. So just to get into the mainstream light of this demographic.
Yeah.
Like, you know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
They see you guys as basically doing PR for Israel, doing damage control for Netanyahu. And I don't think that was maybe your intention. I don't think that's your goal. And I actually agree in principle, you should be able to hear people out. And I think that the reaction sort of vindicates what you're saying, which is, seems pretty unpopular. I mean, it seems pretty transparent. Netanyahu took the interview for that purpose. Of course. He's not going to take a hard interview with the journalist who's going to push back, who's actually going to interrogate him over the situation over there. He kind of cynically used the platform.
Look at them. Look at Steiny.
He's so retarded, dude. I can't stand him.
Listen, I was a fan in the past.
I was a
fan of the Full Send podcast. I was a fan of the Full Send podcast when it was like brand new. When they had who's the guy that was doing the Buffalo Wild Wings commercials?
Oh,
yeah, the red hair, the Boston guy. Bob
damn it.
Menery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When Bob Menery was on in the beginning, the first like 10, 15 episodes, it was a really cool dynamic. Now it feels like it's stale, and it feels like their podcast is like dying off. That's just my perspective. I lost interest. Because what happened was the episodes became like the same thing over and over and over again. It felt like, and the audio was really crappy for my taste. Granted, if you're critical of this, then we're just these are $90 mics. Like we literally started this from the ground up. We built this shit brick by brick.
You built this shit.
We haven't been established for a decade, 15 years. It's not like that. And so it's just interesting. You could tell. I mean, look at them. They don't look qualified.
I mean, I think that's the hill that we're gonna die on here. Is that there's just absolutely zero reason that the Nelk boys needed to be interviewing Bibi Netanyahu.
Well, it's because they're buddies with Trump, and they even said like, we're gonna interview one of the most powerful people in the world. We're never gonna turn that opportunity down. But you just didn't do it justice at all.
Right?
It's
like you didn't. You. That's why I say that you had no business doing it. Was because you need to be in touch with what's going on in your demographic and how they feel against Israel and what's going on. And for you to sit there and not even ask about the Iran bombing, like I just wonder. And also, did you hear them say with Nick that there was like 20 guys in suits in there?
Yeah.
Like CIA, Mossad
Isn't
guys.
that weird?
Oh, it's weird, dude.
The weird thing that you brought up, though, earlier that I want to read back is Steiny, right? Steiny is one of the hosts on the Full Send podcast. Originally got involved with Nelk because he was a videographer, editor for Steve Will Do It, and then he became a regular part of their team. Interestingly enough, his real name, Aaron Steinberg, Steiny of the Nelk Boys, is the son of Harvey Steinberg, a lawyer who defended Ashner Carney, a convicted nuclear weapons smuggler back in 2004. Excuse me. None of this is surprising, is what this tweet says. So how about that?
Dude, I mean...
Is he a plant? Did they just put him there?
I don't know that he's a plant.
I mean, we're going down the conspiracy here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's a plant, because if he is a plant, like, he's a really bad one. Like, I've genuinely never understood...
He has his own podcast. It sucks.
I know. I've never understood the hype behind him. I don't even really think there is a hype behind him. Like, I don't...
He's the member of the friend group that they just dog on.
He's a fringe guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, who is actually listening to him for insight?
I don't know.
And I do...
Nobody
I will
listens
say,
to the Nelk Boys for insight,
but I will say, like, I feel like if you're gonna judge them, I really do think that Kyle is like the front man, the smarter one. Steiny's just there to kind of be like the back end guy, which is also kind of how I view this podcast, which is like you're the fucking brainiac and I'm just the one sitting here.
That's not true. You can go off on tangents. You're very intelligent. Don't do that to yourself. I'll
never pat myself on the back. But here's what I will say is that I just don't. I will not understand why they did this. Let me rephrase that, because I do understand why they did it. I will just never sit here and tell you that they were A, qualified, nor B, understanding enough to actually perform this interview.
Yeah, I just don't think it was a good idea at all. And I think with the media backlash that they're getting from the right and the left, even Tucker Carlson, bro.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson.
Of all fucking people.
I'm listening to this on Spotify, and I go in the comments. You know, you can comment on Spotify?
Yeah.
I go in the comments, and Tucker leaves a comment on the Full Send podcast with Netanyahu. Mind you, they're friends with Tucker. They've done interviews with Tucker. Mm-hmm. And he's like, leave it up to the Full Send fellas to give Netanyahu a good interview.
Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I can't talk about him anymore.
Yeah,
I can't talk about him
There's
anymore.
really nothing else to talk about. We pretty much fledged it all out.
Yeah, just about how asinine everything was. I'll talk about that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so Hunter Biden resurfaced.
Back in the news, dude.
He went on a podcast. He was interviewed, and he basically went off on the entire Democratic Party. He went off a lot, and maybe he was on crack during this interview, but if not, he really entertained me. We're going to play this for you and just enjoy it.
Opinions, but fuck him. Fuck him and everybody around him. I don't have to be fucking nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. Fucking George Clooney is not a fucking actor. He is a fucking,
So he's going off on George Clooney, who happens to be a big donor to the Democratic Party.
I don't know what he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what?
Fuck
him, but God bless him.
Do you think he's on crack?
I don't know that he's on crack. I would like to imagine he's clean. Maybe not crack, but like maybe just like light drinking, like a nice day drink, a couple of those before getting on the show.
Fuck him, but God bless.
Fuck him, but God bless him.
So let's continue. I guess he's talking about George Clooney.
He supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como, and he's great friends with Barack Obama. Fuck you. What do you have to do with fucking anything? Why do I have to fucking listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his fucking life to the...
He's talking about his father, Joe Biden.
I'd really like to say, what the fuck are you, Hunter Biden?
Yeah.
What have you done to benefit anyone on the Democratic Party? If anything, you've only hurt your dad's reputation.
Yes.
I mean,
by the way, whatever happened to that coke that they found in the White House?
Well,
who
it
was
wasn't
that
his.
from?
It wasn't his.
Who was that from?
It wasn't his.
I think the conclusion
It's
was
KJP's.
I think the conclusion was that they just never found out. It was
They just didn't
a
care.
mystery.
Yeah.
The most secure place on the planet, arguably, with the Secret Service members on the top of the roof with the AK-47s and the machine guns and the paratroopers.
Yeah.
But they don't know where that coke came from, Ryan Scheidman.
Dude, I just listening to this right now, like it really just, because I watched the clip, but then it's really like clicking with me, because I don't know that I watched him actually go off on George Clooney. I watched him talk about like how smoking crack's better than drinking, but
And we'll play that too.
But for him to sit here and say, fuck George Clooney, who are you? I hear you buy your friends nice things and you do all this. It's like, dude, you were banging fucking hookers, smoking crack while your dad was the president of the United States or the vice president of the United States. You were doing all these things. So how are you going to sit here and shit on George Clooney? At least he's giving them money. Like, they had to fucking pardon your retarded ass.
He refused to acknowledge his own daughter that he had with a hooker for some time.
Right. Like,
Crazy
it's just asinine.
piece of shit.
And isn't he married?
I don't.
There's
I mean,
a wedding ring
I
on
see
his
a wedding
finger.
ring on this finger.
I think he's married.
That's crazy. In fact, didn't he get with Beau Biden? His this is crazy because he did. I believe now he is married to Beau Biden's ex-wife, or not ex-wife, just widow. Is that right?
2019.
Did he date?
She's low-key kind of hot, dude. I can't even lie.
Did he date his brother's wife?
I'll do the research.
Didn't he do that?
I'm trying to look here.
Because the way it worked is Joe
Marissa
Biden.
Cohen. So did she used to date Beau?
No, I believe Beau Biden was married to whoever this lady was. Maybe,
His current wife or his ex-wife?
I'm not sure how it would, but if it wasn't a wife, he definitely was dating Beau Biden's widow. They had a relationship. I remember that. It is the scummiest thing ever.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Tell the
Biden.
people because I sound retarded.
Yeah. Hunter Biden, Beau Biden's younger brother, did date Hallie Oliver Biden, Beau's widow. They were in a relationship from 2016 to 2019 after Beau's death in 2015.
So his brother dies.
1 year.
His brother dies. Wow. 1 year later, he goes to his brother's widow and says, listen.
Wow. And then right after, because he got married in 2019. So he stopped dating, and they stayed together for 3 fucking years.
3 years.
3 years. And then immediately jumped ship and now is married to his current wife. Fuck you, Hunter Biden. You're a piece of shit scumbag.
Okay, let's see.
And decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the fucking New York Times to me and James Carville, who hasn't run a race in 40 fucking years, and David Axelrod, who had one success in his political life, and that was Barack Obama. And that was because of Barack Obama, not because of fucking David Axelrod. And David Plouffe, and all of these guys, and the Pod Save America guys, who were junior fucking speechwriters.
So who's interviewing him?
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. I've seen him before on YouTube and like shorts and shit and like Instagram reels, but I really don't know who I think he's a comedian. But yeah, I mean, we don't even need to see the rest of this. Basically, he's going off of the Democratic Party.
Fuck you, Hunter Biden.
What do you think?
I just told you what I think. I think he's a fucking scumbag.
He is.
Find the clip of him saying that it's better to smoke crack than drink.
There's this other clip too about him crashing out over whites and migrants. This was. Have you seen this one?
No.
I'm gonna play this one for you. This one went viral too. So in this clip with this interviewer, once again, I don't know who it is, but Hunter Biden is just going off about whites and immigrants, and migrants in particular. I just have to play this for you because
go ahead.
It's absurd.
We sit here and we talk about the one guy because there's a clear legal path to being able to get him back. What about all those other people? Am I not supposed to feel for someone? Am I going to be like all these Democrats say, you have to talk about and realize that people are really upset about illegal immigration. Fuck you.
Oh, I'm sorry. We are upset about illegal immigration, pussy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. How many people did your father let into this country?
Yep.
Anywhere from 10 to 20 million. Newsflash, fuckface, that's a lot.
A lot.
That's a lot of people.
And how many of those people were committing crimes and murdering people? But fuck you, we don't care.
Exactly.
Apparently.
How many of those people are not going to assimilate into our country? How many of those people, one probably in particular, I don't know it for sure, but the guy that installed the internet in this very in this very podcast studio could not speak fucking English. He spoke in 1 and 2 word phrases. I asked him, how do I connect the Wi-Fi? And he goes, password?
Yes, please.
What? He had a little translator thing that wasn't working. Obviously, he was Hispanic or some Mexican descent. I'm not trying to...
I'm glad Hunter brought this up. Sorry, I just totally cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm not trying to cast blame. I'm not trying to sound... What's the word? What's the word when you don't like immigrants or when you're racist toward immigrants? Anyway, no, it's a like bigot or whatever. Besides the point. Xenophobic. I'm not trying to sound xenophobic, but if you don't assimilate into the country that you immigrate into and you don't take on the traditions of the country, then the country ceases to exist over time. When you have migrants that are, yes, committing crimes,
Right.
Lighting people on fire on New York subways, getting bailed out and flipping the bird to the cameras.
Right.
And you continue to commit these crimes, and then on top of that, you are technically taking away jobs from Americans that were actually born here. Americans that have a firm base, a firm tree trunk, for lack of a better term, in this country, with generations of history in this country. And when we get out of college, when we get out of high school, we can't get jobs because they are being taken largely by these migrants who are willing to work for a lower pay.
Now, I will say, and I'm glad Hunter Biden just brought this up, and that was a very good rant.
I'm sorry.
But I did want to touch on the immigration topic because I did just get in an argument with her uncle earlier.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, it was just a back and forth text message where it was basically talking about how we are crumbling as Americans. We have a drug epidemic like never before seen. We have a homeless epidemic like never before seen. Our own military, our own veterans are coming back home and they cannot get places to live or get places to work.
Housing crisis.
My problem is you can be as empathetic as you want to Julio, who's been here since he was 5, and he doesn't have a green card or a social security number or anything.
Julio can fuck off.
That's my point. I'm sorry, Julio, but that means for the 20 years you've been here, you haven't paid your taxes. You've worked at the Mexican restaurant under the table. I understand all those things. But here is my problem, is we can't pick and choose. Because of Hunter Biden's father, who allowed 20 million plus immigrants into this country illegally, we do have mass deportations, and I will say that in air quotes because that's another fucking problem. But anyways, we can sit here and be empathetic towards these migrants, but we can also sit here and say, maybe instead of focusing on, being empathetic towards all the migrants, putting them up in housing, allowing them, to get benefits through the government. Now, I don't think that they're getting a large amount of government benefit, but in the meantime, what we should be doing is focusing on, like Trump is kind of doing, bringing some manufacturing back here to America, getting those jobs here. My other issue is we're sitting here and signing 100,000 H-1B visas to come across. We're allowing the foreign farmers and hospitality workers to stay here. I understand the empathy side of things where you don't want to see alligator Alcatraz and you don't want these, migrants that possibly haven't done anything and they're being thrown into, the same cell as a gang member. I get it. I really do. But that is what America First means. It means to bring the jobs back to Americans. It means to get the people off of welfare. It means to get the drugs off the street and the homeless epidemic all under control. Like, that is my problem. Wages are low. People cannot live. We need corporations to fucking raise wages so that everyone can live more comfortably. The housing crisis is absolutely ridiculous. We're seeing, again, like I said, drugs, homelessness, veterans who can't get homes or jobs when they come back. We're seeing all these problems as Americans, and all we're focused on is immigrants and whether or not they can stay here legally or not, and trying to get them to assimilate in our culture when our own people aren't assimilating. Our own people are rejected. Our own people are on welfare, and they're fucking taking advantage of the system. Now, also, to that point, our people are lazy, and I don't know how to fix laziness. We have allowed, especially since COVID, we've allowed people to find a sense of comfort living off of welfare, living off of the government. And I genuinely, Luke, I don't know how you change that.
Okay, Vivek. Okay, I can tell you how. Make it a little bit more affordable. Make it easier to get jobs. Allow our people, the people that are graduating, not just white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever the case.
As long as you have a social security number.
Jewish.
All right, that's where I draw the line.
But the people that, American citizens, why can't, because these people are qualified. Everybody that lives in America is qualified, but it's these freaking corporations, and they just got another tax cut in the big, beautiful bill. Yeah. I don't understand why we have to continuously cut the tax rates for corporations. I'm not going to go as far as you said, raising the wages. I would like the corporations to just pay their fair share in taxes, number one, because they're not our friends. The corporations bankrupted this entire country, especially the Midwest, when they shipped all of the jobs overseas, and they completely decimated areas like this very one. But it's just so crazy how, like, even the Democrats in Congress and the Senate, Republicans and Democrats are mostly united on this front of being pro-corporation. And so I see people like Bernie Sanders, and then I see people like Theo Vaughn on the right, and Bernie's obviously on the left, and you see multiple right-wing podcast pundits as well saying, like, the corporations are the ones that are really at fault. And you saw this with COVID. That's the thing. You saw this with COVID, and Big Pharma it was very transparent.
Yeah.
But more and more people are waking up to the fact that these corporations, I mean, they have too much power, and it's not even about capitalism anymore. It's like they're taking advantage of the system.
No, they really are. And to that point, because I will say that wages are definitely a big struggle, and I see that especially when I was talking about Americans who are currently living off the system and off of welfare.
Definitely.
Why are you going to sit here and go to work for $17 an hour when you're making more off of the government? So these billion-dollar corporations, yes, they're getting tax cuts, and the rich just continue to get richer. What we need to be doing, again, is raising. The market is never going to come down. That's the problem.
Well,
we're going to see eggs. We're going to see gas. We're going to see all those things fluctuate, Luke. But at the end of the day, a bag of Doritos is never going to be less than fucking $4.99. Like, it's only going to continue.
Though.
It is a cycle. But
to your point, I don't necessarily know if raising the wages is going to make everything work, because then you have inflation. You saw this with COVID. We gave everybody a stimulus check, and all of a sudden, inflation.
Right.
I think that. I mean, maybe this isn't as realistic as simply raising the wages, but if we can just make things more affordable for people without cutting the taxes for corporations.
Right.
Because I don't really believe in trickle-down economics. I just don't know if raising the minimum wage, for example, not just the minimum wage, but raising wages, I don't know if that's truly going to solve it, because then the corporations can just say, okay, fuck you. We're going to make everything more expensive to recoup for our losses.
Right.
That's the only thing. I'm very pro-worker. I'm not necessarily even anti-raising the wage, but in this specific scenario, I don't know if it'll help long term.
No,
that's my thing.
No, and I totally hear you, and I could understand that. I'm trying to see how it would work in my head, and so I want to talk it out loud, and we'll see if it makes sense.
No, I empathize with you.
This goes back to my.
I could be wrong, by the way.
Well, again, I'm going to speak this out loud. I want to see if this actually works, because I haven't. It's just something that's coming to me on the spot. However, so we have corporations, we have tariffs that Trump has now introduced onto all these different countries and such. Right. So that no matter how you want to slice it, it has raised, and I've seen it personally through my actual job, and other people have seen it where prices are raising because of tariffs. Right. Now, granted, prices are raising because of tariffs, which just means corporations' margins are going to stay the same. They're raising prices to keep the same margin, X, Y, Z. Now, my problem is what I'm trying to figure out in my head, where if we remove the tariffs, because eventually they're going to be removed, prices are going to stay the same, and instead of making those margins, that would just increase the margins. Mm-hmm. with taking off the tariffs, and let's say, so I mean, and I'll break it down for anybody listening who doesn't understand. Let's say, I have a product that I'm buying for $1 and I'm selling it for $5. So you're making $4 off of it. So if and that's a tariff price. So if I was to take the tariff off, let's say it was a 75-cent tariff, I have a product that's 25 cents. I'm still keeping it at $5.
Right.
The tariff isn't removed, so now it's 25 cents. My margin just increased significantly by an additional 75 cents. So if we were to take that and just incorporate it into, raising the wages, I still don't think that would work. I think you're right. I really do think you're right where it comes to we need to lower the prices of things and make things, more affordable.
But I'm not heartless. That's the thing. If things will work, then I'm not politically...
Sorry, I just took up a bunch of airtime there for literally me to just work something out in my head.
But I'm not ideologically attached to anything anymore. Like before COVID, I was Republican. I'm still very much on the right, but I was more so Republican ideology. Whatever the party says goes. Yeah. After that, just being able to see how full of shit everybody was and how willingly they were to tell us what to do. Obviously, there were exceptions in the Republican Party, but for the most part, they all wanted us to shut up, take the vaccine, and go inside. You saw that with Trump. And so now you hear people like Bernie Sanders, people like Zoran Mamdani, people like this Omar guy. Don't even get me. The Somali guy that the Democratic Party just endorsed for mayor of Minneapolis, whatever. He's talking about raising the minimum wage. Listen, if that truly will help, then I am all for it. I just don't think it'll help.
No, I don't think it will
I also
either.
don't live there, so I kind of don't give a fuck. If it helps, it helps.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not going to say don't do it because I don't live there.
No, I mean, I really
That's
do.
what it is.
I see you, because what we're going to have is we need to put some sort of cap or some sort of restriction on top of corporations. Because like you said, let's say McDonald's starts having to, pay their employees $25 an hour. Well, how much do you think a Big Mac's going to cost?
I mean, it's already quite expensive.
Right. It's probably fucking $7 right now. So it's going to be $10 for just a sandwich in order for them to make up for the money that they're losing by paying their employees. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, and that's honestly what's going to cripple our economy, is what we've already seen here locally. I mean, how many local family-run businesses have just shut down, especially because of the pandemic? I mean, we saw
all across the country. It's been a lot.
Right. Well, I was just saying locally. I mean, I can think of some that are continuing to shut down, and there's not a lot of local family-run businesses, family-run restaurants, let's say. We'll keep it on the food topic. Because the corporations, these big chain restaurants are taking over, like a lot of even, the mom and pop grocery stores. I mean, that doesn't exist. We do our grocery shopping at Walmart, at Meijer, at Aldi, at Giant Eagle, all these, play Publix for anybody who's, down south or wherever the fuck Publix is at. But it's, I don't know. I mean, I didn't do great in economics class. So
no, but I understand what you're saying. Listen, I will say though, in our area, Northeast Ohio, in our little pocket, not gonna reveal where we live entirely. You can Google it, and I've revealed it on the show multiple times. But in our little area, our little pocket of our state, we have been blessed to have a lot of the mom and pop restaurants still be here. Granted, there are a couple that are unfortunately gone, but I mean, when you talk about the stores, yes, it is very dystopian. It's like four. You have your Walmart, your Meijer, around here, Giant Eagle if you're like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana. And then you might have like a Sam's Club or a Costco or stuff like that. Uh-huh. That's it, though. And this traditional relationship that you had with the people that own the grocery store, the mom and pop grocery store, that you knew you were going to get good products. You had established relationships with these people. These people were invested in your neighborhood. They weren't going to buy out other mom and pops and form this big corporation where they don't really care. You don't really have that same hometown feel. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I don't think it's good. I understand Walmart's very productive. But even then, I was talking to somebody, I forget who I was talking to, but it was a business owner, and he was talking about selling his product at Walmart. And it's like, he said, they tell you how much profit you're going to make off the top. Yeah. Like, you don't get a say. Like, you might, this guy said, hypothetically, they told him to sell his product in Walmart. It was like he was going to make 19%. That's it. They were going to take the rest of it. They were going to tell him how much he was able to sell in Walmart, no more, no less, and then they controlled all of it. And it's like, why do that? You know what I mean?
Because that's where people are at. I mean, where else are you going to put your product at? You can put it online. You can advertise for it. You know,
have corporations got too big? I think they have.
1,000%. Where have you been? Of course they're fucking too big.
More so
I know it was.
rhetor-
I
it was
know it
more
was
so
rhetorical.
rhetorical.
I know. We need a little spice in this show. I gotta be a dick sometimes.
I know, but it's just so frustrating, man.
Yeah, they've gotten way too out of hand, way too big. I mean, like we just fucking said, they got another tax break.
And you don't want to see government kind of use its power to control big corporations, but at the same time,
I want to.
But you don't want to have government get too big. It's already too big. But then again, you want somebody to keep these corporations in check because they are abusing their power.
But that's the problem is I think it's the lesser of two evils. You got to figure out what you want. Do you want corporations to run awry or do you want government to be too big?
Well, I certainly don't want either, but corporations are really fucking everything up for us
and
right
that's the problem is because the government and the corporations are working together.
Yeah, that is the problem.
I mean, that's really the problem. Regardless of
makes
what
you want to
happens.
burn it all down, doesn't it?
We can't say that. We're going to get arrested. Like the Mossad's at our front door.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah. I got to pee. Let's do a halftime break here.
Fine with me.
We'll recoup and see what else we could talk about.
Fine with me. We're back. We have another story that just came out, actually. Trump was talking about Tulsi Gabbard in a video recently at a press conference. This was actually the reception with members of Congress. And, well, he was talking about Tulsi Gabbard, and he said that she's hotter than everybody. So, watch the clip. We have a couple of things to say, but once again, the most unserious president in the history of our lifetimes. Granted, we're only 24 years old, but he still takes the cake. Here we go.
Director of National Intelligence. Oh, where's Tulsi? She's like hotter than everybody. She's the hottest one in the room right now.
That's all I wanted to hear, because then I'll give you my insight real quick. Do you remember? I mean, we can listen to the rest of it, but do you remember as soon as Iran started becoming a thing, he shit on Tulsi Gabbard right away?
I think the quote was, "I don't give a shit what she thinks." Is that what he said?
It was basically, I mean, that might not have been the direct quote, but it was basically what he was saying was he was shitting on her because her intelligence, she had just in March testified that Iran was not working towards a nuclear missile.
Correct.
And now, did Tulsi get the nod? I know Trump already got the nod, but did Tulsi get the nod? And now she's just, because I will die on this hill that Iran did not have nuclear missiles. We did not need to go there.
Right.
Israel has constantly for 30 years wanted to get in there. They've wanted to bomb.
It's actually against Islamic doctrine to have a nuclear weapon.
Exactly. So they backed the U.S. into a corner. And like I said, in March, she testified that they weren't working towards a nuclear missile and XYZ, and the rest is history. But now it seems like she's just falling in line.
Yeah, I just don't understand. We were promised all of these people. They said, if you don't like Donald Trump, then you're voting for J.D. Vance. If you don't like J.D. Vance, you're voting for RFK. If you don't like RFK, you're voting for Tulsi Gabbard. And it's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
All of these people are betraying everything that they promised us. All of these people are betraying everything they campaigned on.
Yeah.
We've said it before. We'll say it again. Presidential candidate Donald Trump and President Trump, two different people.
Yep.
It's just how it is.
We got duped again. I mean, we could sit here and say we got duped. I mean,
this is the first time that we were actually like duped.
We really were.
As voters.
We really were. I mean,
I might not vote for a long time.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm still going to vote, but I definitely think I could see myself voting for an independent. I mean, I really don't think I could see myself voting for J.D. Vance.
I'm going to protest in the midterms. I think I'm going to protest and just not vote.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very tough. But also, anyways, like you said, I mean, we were promised all these things, and then we see, Tulsi kind of get backed into a corner where she had testified in March, and we still went ahead with the bombing of Iran, and then you have RFK, who's now, allowing COVID vaccines for children. But, we're using cane sugar and Coke, so whatever. And food dyes are disappearing, sure.
And beef tallow isn't steak and chick fries.
Yeah, I mean...
Cool.
Big deal. And now there's this big push for Palantir through J.D. Vance, who, was mysteriously quiet throughout the Epstein list scandal.
But if you listen to the episode with Tim Dillon and Alex Jones, you can acknowledge that Palantir is just a scapegoat for big tech.
100%.
And what we should also be worried about is Oracle and Larry Ellison making a vaccine through nanobots. Remember we covered this earlier in the year? A vaccine through nanobots for you. A vaccine personalized for every person in the country for you. Don't you think that's a little bit weird?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Guy's 89 years old.
I know, but the problem is you're always going to have suckers, regardless. So you're going to have people that, you promise them they can live forever, and they're going to take the vaccine. And then, all these people that live forever, and you continue to have kids, and there's a population crisis, and then that vaccine that they gave you actually can, blow your head up with the push of a button. I mean, there's
these
so
people
many.
like legit. Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No.
But these people like legit want to live forever, and they want to transcend humanity.
Yeah.
And
if you ask Alex Jones, not to cut you off, but if you ask Alex Jones, their end goal is to go with and we went down this rabbit hole the last time I was here, but a non-human civilization.
Yeah. And they wanted, he was talking about, Alex Jones was talking about Peter Thiel when they asked him, should humanity continue or something like that? And he stuttered and couldn't say yes, which is absurd.
Yeah. Very scary.
Absurd.
Very scary.
But it's just crazy, man. So I want to go back to this, right? We're talking about Tulsi Gabbard and her really abandoning everything that she said. And we also have to call out J.D. Vance, too, because Tim Dillon recently went to dinner with J.D. Vance, and he had Alex Jones on an emergency episode of his podcast, The Tim Dillon Show. And he talks about how J.D. Vance said that there was a bunch of child porn in the Epstein files, and that's contrary to what we were hearing from the Trump administration for a long time. So let's play this clip.
I just want to add, when Bondi said we have 10,000 hours of video, she said we have 10,000 hours of video. I had dinner last week with the vice president. He told me that was commercial pornography. They do not have videos of any powerful person in a compromising position. That's the party line that they're going with.
That's a cigarette.
If that's the case, why would Pam Bondi call it evident? I just want to add,
totally
going with
part of that.
You're good.
Go ahead.
If that's the case, why would Pam Bondi call it evident?
She did. And this is something that I don't understand the inconsistencies once again, and we'll probably stop talking about Epstein soon. I don't know, maybe not. But everybody is continuing to say they can't get this story out of the news cycle.
And you're not going to. I mean,
you're not.
You're literally talking about a billionaire who had an island, who had ties with government officials, who was then convicted of raping and human trafficking, and I don't see how you can get this out of the media. I mean, when this story originally broke, I mean, we were hearing stories about the Black Book and about, all these celebrities are going to go down. And
now they're saying it doesn't exist, that there was never a Black Book.
Right.
It's crazy.
I mean, but then you see it, and is it the media? Is it people taking it and running with it and then swinging the narrative? Because we saw it with Diddy, too, with all these parties. And, Diddy was going to be the new Jeffrey Epstein, and all these celebrities were fucking minors, and Diddy was just trying, in a gang-related way, trying to get dirt on these people. And then they bring it to trial, and it was kind of a soft trial.
Yeah.
There was no trafficking. It was just, Diddy's a freak, and these girls are addicted to his Tootsie Roll dick, and all these different things. It just didn't make sense to me when everything gets brought to light and when there's an actual trial. But then, of course, you have I just smacked my lips. Fuck you in the comments. You could sit here and then, go through the timeline between Jeffrey Epstein where, why did he kill himself? If that's the case, if that is the case, if he genuinely killed himself, why? Was it just because he didn't want to face the backlash of being known as a child predator and all these things coming to light when, he's actually alive? But I'm sorry, other than now being known that he was fucking underage people or whatever it was, what would have been brought at the trial? Because currently what us citizens know, we know nothing. We don't have,
we can only speculate.
Right, we can only speculate. We have absolutely zero information. I mean, we have the people who have, the survivors that, a few have mysteriously died, You know, they didn't die when they were with Jeffrey Epstein, but now they've just mysteriously died. You have all of that. You have, you know, tens of thousands of hours that Pam Bondi says is just child pornography that was illegally downloaded by Jeffrey Epstein, and you have pictures of, you know, Bill Clinton in a dress and George Bush with paper airplanes and Jenga blocks. Like that's...
By the way, who abused these kids?
Exactly.
If it's child pornography, that means that there has to be somebody, some adult, technically.
Right, like there's no arrests.
And here's the thing. Just blur out the victims.
I don't even want to see it. Like
No, but I'm just saying, if you're going to make this excuse that the public can't see and that we can't have like people going over it, blur out the victims.
Right.
I don't want to have to see this either, but like for people to identify the abusers,
absolutely,
blur out the victims.
Absolutely.
TMZ can do it.
Absolutely.
It's not that fucking hard.
Absolutely. I mean, just to have
this is really gonna. I'm not to cut you off, but this is gonna break society either way. If they give us the Epstein list and there truly are all of the elites that we think plus more, like the Lex Westners, the Bill Gates, the Bill Clintons, the Donald Trumps of the world, if these people, these higher up people are on the list, it's going to erode all of our faith in government, all of our faith in the elites, and everybody will rebel because this is awful. This is satanic pedophile shit that's going on, if true. If not true, if they don't, well, not even if not true, if they don't reveal it, then it's going to be like, okay, well, why aren't you revealing all of this satanic pedophile ring stuff? We know the pedophile ring existed.
Right.
We are just speculating that there are higher up people, CEOs, celebrities, influencers, politicians that are involved with all of this stuff where people were fucking kids. And so that's what the evidence suggests. If you're not even going to show us any of the evidence, people are going to start to rebel and trust in the government will erode additionally. So you can't win here. Just the truth will set you free.
Yeah.
And everything you have.
Things need to come out. And I've said it again on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I've continued to hammer down on the fact that the problem is these files aren't going to see the light of day. And we could sit here and we could talk about it and we could speculate on who's on it, but I really would like to take a closer look on who has, through the entire administration or through the entire campaign, been so eager to take any little bit of evidence against Donald Trump and use it against him. The Nancy Pelosi's of the world, the Hillary Clintons of the world, why are they not speaking out on this topic? Why are they not condemning Donald Trump on this topic?
Because
and saying
they're in
that
it too.
Exactly.
They're in it too.
Exactly.
They're
exactly.
in it too.
So you can't tell me that these people who have just been radio silent throughout this entire thing aren't just as guilty as maybe Donald Trump.
Donald Trump
all the
was
other
running
Republicans.
around in Democrat circles. You listened to the Tim Dillon,
Yes.
Alex Jones episode
Yes.
today. He was a Democrat
Yes.
for a majority of his life. He was a New York Democrat. He was hanging around with Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, paid him to be at his wedding, Jeffrey Epstein, all of those people. It just makes too much sense.
It really does.
Of course he's in the files.
It really does.
Of course.
And that's the problem is how if he wasn't or if they aren't in the files, if there are no files, then they should have no problem releasing something to put this to bed, to put us at bay. But the problem is they're allowing all these things to speculate, and then we're speculating all of these different possibilities, and then guess what? While we're speculating all this, everything's starting to make sense.
You want to see something really interesting?
You can really connect the dots, yeah.
This is former Australian Prime Minister Paul Keating's young daughter leaving Jeffrey Epstein's luxury apartment.
Why is she at Jeffrey Epstein's luxury apartment?
I have no clue, Ryan Scheidmantel, but this video just surfaced a couple of days ago. Actually, it surfaced yesterday. We're going to play it for you. But once again, this is the former Australian Prime Minister's daughter. This guy's name is Paul Keating, and this is his daughter when she was young, leaving Jeffrey Epstein's luxury apartment. Look at this. So this is Epstein. And this is the former Prime Minister of Australia, his young daughter, leaving the apartment. So I don't know what they seem to be very close. They seem to be very, very close. This is the most notorious pedophile in American history. Look at that. Isn't that a little bit weird? She's leaving his apartment. Look at that. Why? Come on. this is weird, no? I mean, this is something that just floated across my timeline. We're playing it for you because it's pertinent to the conversation. But isn't that interesting?
I just like
we
nothing
do not
surprises
know.
me
We
anymore,
do not
dude.
know. We only know the tip of the iceberg. That's my opinion. We only know the tip of the iceberg.
No, you're
for
100%
any-
right. I mean,
This is insane.
there's so much to this.
This is insane.
And they will never release it. And they're going. And I've said this. I've said it a million times. Something big is coming. Something big is coming. And quite frankly, I'll call it right now.
Oh boy.
Nuclear war.
You think?
In the Ukraine.
I don't think that's not where I was going to go at all.
I think that there is a big story coming. There's a big headline coming that is going to completely take over the news, take over the timelines, and completely Men in Black wipe our brains from this situation. And we continue to fund the Ukraine. They continue to attack Russia. I just told you before we got on here. Now there's riots against Zelensky.
Yeah, I did see that.
I mean,
I
think
wonder
they're trying to get the Ukraine nuked.
I wonder who's agitating those riots and creating all of the provocateuring. I wonder who's behind that.
Possibly.
It's probably what's happening.
Possibly. But no, I just don't think that you can look at the evidence that there currently is, and us continuing to fund this war that we're kind of because of NATO needing to fund, or we're backed in the corner just like Israel backed us in the corner. But I think if this war doesn't end, I mean, this is just continuous. It's a continuous war that has been going on for what, 5 years, 4 years?
Probably like 3-4 years. Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
So
about to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess 5 years ago would have been COVID. So yeah, 3-4 years. I don't see how does this end in nuclear war? What is the big headline that completely sweeps the nation that gets us to stop talking about if our president is a fucking pedophile or not?
People aren't going to stop talking about it. I really don't think so. People are always going to, especially now with all the evidence we have, with all of the Trump being so radioactive. Every time they ask him a question about Epstein, he just immediately blows up. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Even blowing up, saying his own base, they're not real supporters if they continue to ask these questions. Fuck you, dude.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
So it makes no sense. I don't think that people are going to stop talking about this and asking him about this. This is like his first big scandal, I think. Besides like the Russiagate stuff, that was fabricated. But this is like in the the January 6th stuff, maybe. This is the first scandal of his second administration. How about that?
Yeah.
First scandal of his second administration, and I mean, the more you withhold all this information, like the more skeptical we're going to be of you.
Without a doubt.
So there's that.
Without a doubt. Dude, what a fucking weird society we live in today.
Yeah?
It's disgusting.
Yeah, we don't have freedom of speech either.
No, we don't. We don't.
Did you see that new Jubilee episode?
I have.
Okay.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I will preface that. I just watched the big
clips.
The
I watched the whole thing, and wow. So it was with Mehdi Hassan. He's a CNN political commentator. He's a Hindu guy, originally from London, immigrated to America, I believe 12 years ago is what he said. But he's on the left. He's a progressive. And it was him versus 20 far-right Republicans. And he was debating a couple of ideas. So the topics were like, he believes Donald Trump is pro-crime. He believes that immigrants are good for America. Stuff like that. And he had these 20 far-right Republicans, men and women, different races, majority white, but there were some women and a couple Hispanics, and they were talking about these different things. Well, this guy he wasn't portraying himself in the best light. He wasn't the best example of these far-right ideas that he was trying to portray. And so I don't have his name right here, but he goes under the pseudonym on X as Feels Guy 2003. His name is, I still don't know who he is, but he was identifying himself as a fascist, okay? And he was fired from his job because he professed a couple of fascist beliefs on Jubilee. And we're going to have a video for this. But first, I want to show you his letter, because he wrote a letter explaining that he was fired from his job in real life because of the political beliefs that he showed on Jubilee. So here we go. He goes, "My name is Connor, and I was recently shown in the latest Jubilee episode. As a result, unfortunately, I was subsequently released from my job. I'm raising money as emergency fund and for other expenses while I look for a new job. To clarify, I was terminated from my position for holding fully legal traditional right-wing political views. This is cancel culture and political discrimination on full display. I just went on the Rift where I shared my story of what happened. You can watch it here." We're not going to watch that, but what I do want to watch is one of his clips, the specific clip that got him here. What do you think about this while I look this up?
Yeah, just look up Feels Guy Jubilee, and it should show up. My favorite part of this whole Jubilee, my favorite part of this whole Jubilee episode was the fact that we saw a very widespread group of 20 far-right Republicans. I want to say there was a gay guy in there.
Yeah.
I also want to say there was a couple foreigners as well, or at least ones that looked foreign. And just very funny to see, some of these far-right Republicans like him, like the backwards hat guy, ones that would not agree with these people being in the country at all or being alive at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they have their say in it, probably absolutely zero gay marriage,
Yeah.
and the foreigners can all go back to whatever country their possible fucking ancestors lived in. I don't think. It was a weird group. I mean, that's really all I have to say about that. So let's listen to this guy.
So I think that's a reasonable point. However, he goes on to spew some other talking points that I might not necessarily agree with.
I mean, let's kind of we'll check so far. We're 30 seconds in, and he hasn't said anything off the cuff.
Reasonable.
Making women and children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment.
Freedom of speech.
I'm Catholic. I don't necessarily think you should do it. However, I think
There's
that's
a freedom of
That's a
religion.
little bit insane.
There's
though.
a freedom of religion.
That's a little bit insane. Let's
Correct.
get. And that's where he started to lose a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then subsequently lost his job. Let's go a little bit further, and then
Right.
we'll probably end.
Let's go back. I didn't hear what he said. I intervened.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
More than willing to. I'm more than willing to amend it and include
Whenever
the
it's in
Second
your
Amendment.
favor.
Yeah. When it works in his favor.
He looks very scary right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll.
Nick Fuentes.
Oh, he is everywhere
this dude
without
is a
being.
girl.
Go fast forward a little bit in this interview because it does get a little bit more heated than this.
Yeah.
And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests? I mean, priests don't brandish guns and kill in a state that I was running. Okay.
And this part of the interview right here, this part of the Jubilee episode was really revealing because you see all these people on the left saying, and the right too, saying the marketplace of ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this guy, Mehdi Hassan, what you just heard is he said, I don't debate fascists. So he kind of concedes this argument. Anyway, so you heard this guy, he's not necessarily spewing the most moderate views.
No.
But interestingly enough, let's go back. So this guy, Feels Guy, the pseudonym he goes by on Twitter, he was fired from his job following his appearance with Mehdi Hassan. He's a Catholic commentator. He's raised $30,000 so far on Give, Send, Go. And this is just in the last 24 hours. So the goal was $15,000 raised by Connor, his pseudonym, once again, Feels Guy 2003. And so far, he's raised over $30,000, $30,188 in less than 24 hours.
Crazy. That's crazy.
How crazy is that?
The other problem I have with it is, are you not allowed to speak your mind?
Well, here's the
is
thing.
freedom of speech dead? Is the First Amendment even really a fucking thing?
I'm sorry if that was like a sloppy presentation of the video.
It kind of was.
Here's what
here's
what I have to say, okay? Yeah. Now that we throw that information out to you, right? The far left has had a voice for the better part of the last 15 years.
I'd say so.
But the far right is just starting to gain a little bit of steam and popularity.
Right.
And for most of my life, for all of the times I've been paying attention to it, the far right has been banned and censored. Mm-hmm. The far right deserves a voice. And people like this, if they were far left, they keep their jobs.
Oh, 100%.
If you're claiming that communism and socialism is the way to go, and that black people, for example, or gay people are better than white people, and white people are the great Satan or a non-master race, but a devil race, and just continue to demonize white people, you would get celebrated, and in fact, you would get promoted.
Yeah.
But this guy is giving you basically traditional right-wing views. For the better part of the 20th century, at least when you do research, he is being demonized and he loses his job. And it's crazy because you think we have freedom of speech.
I didn't mean to cough right in the mic there.
It's just crazy.
I will say, and I see from a corporation standpoint, I see where the divide would be, where you're looking at someone who is on the far right, who's maybe saying, America first, white people first, XYZ, and then you have the far left, who is usually tied with, inclusion of, those minority groups, whether you're LGBT, gay, actual physical minorities. So I see where, it'd be easier on a corporation side or on a media side to say, oh, look at this person. He's very nice. He wants to be inclusive of everything, where, this person on the far right's kind of saying, hey, I think there's some problems here with certain people.
I just don't understand why being a communist out in the open is like completely accepted and nobody seems to bat an eye and want to come for you in your job. But when you're spewing fascist ideas and you're claiming to be a fascist out in the open, you get banned from everything and you get fired.
Yeah, immediately banned.
It's insane.
It really is.
I hope he gets $1 million and I can see it happening. I don't care. I think we should have freedom of speech no matter what. It doesn't matter.
No, I agree.
This guy, granted, he's not the best messenger at all. He's not the right person to convey all of these far-right ideas.
Yeah.
I can certainly think of many people, including myself, not even saying I believe it, but including myself, that could have done a much better job explaining all of that. He sounded like he had a little bit of autism. Fine. You could tell he's not very social. Fine. But in all, I believe in his ability to speak.
No, I
That's
agree.
what it is.
I agree. Just like how I agree with, you and I being able to sit here and, talk about whatever we want to talk about.
It's just unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate because you just want equality. You want the true First Amendment to be held up in this country. You want everybody to have equal rights. But when you do things like this, it really pisses people off.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how much money he gets, but it's going to be very interesting. Now it is time to talk about Obama wanting men to be surrounded by gay men. How about that?
Boys, not
Boys.
men.
That's right.
Not men.
So we
Boys.
should clarify. What was Obama talking about recently, Shide?
So if I can remember correctly, because I think this was last week, I believe the exact quote was that he had a gay mentor growing up.
Yes, that's it.
And he believes that it helped shape him into the man he was today. The man who fucked his chef and killed him. But
I wonder how he was shaping him.
Yeah, really. Well, it helped shape Big Mike. Anyways, so Big Mike mentored Barack through his young. No, he had a mentor who was gay, and he believes that young men should have gay older people in their lives. I don't know.
We have the clip.
Yeah,
now.
let's listen to the clip.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is.
Before he says anything actually stupid, I will say there's something about Barack Obama's voice. Can I say that? Is that bad?
You have freedom of speech.
I mean, I don't want to sound gay, but
he certainly would be happy with that.
there's something about Barack Obama's voice. And I'll say this because I think the way Donald Trump speaks is a joke. I think I'd rather have Donald Trump as a president with Barack Obama's voice. Does that make sense?
It does. He was the best speaker.
Yeah. I'll say that. Anyways, continue. I just haven't heard him talk in a while.
Not just exposure to one guy.
Mm-hmm.
One dad. No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college.
Most
at a
valuable.
time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you.
Gay or non-binary.
All right, well,
we're still saying that.
Remember how I said I liked his voice? I'm tired of him now.
Gay
He could go back
or
to the
non-binary. Shy, non-binary doesn't exist.
I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
I don't even know what that means.
It doesn't mean anything.
I think it's fake.
I think I get the message that he's trying to say, but he's trying to incorporate it in like this newfound way of life that we have in this century, where it's these sexualities are just they're fucking out of control.
Listen to what he says one more time.
I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed.
He's still not out of the closet.
Yeah. Then
Who became one of my
favorite part. It's one of my favorite, and he would call me out when I said things that were ignorant.
Ignorant. What? Ignorant, like, let me get on top.
Ignorant, like, my ass hurts.
Can I take a break, please?
Favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant.
Mind you, this is the first time he's been publicly videoed with his wife in like the better part of a year.
Yeah, this is all a joke. Go back to Martha's Vineyard, get your daughter some pot, fuck off. You and Hunter Biden and everybody, like, why can't these Democrats just fade into the fucking sunset?
Once again, it's Obama lecturing young men. Remember what happened last time he did this? He lost a fucking election.
He lost the black vote.
Lost an election for his party. And so I just think I really hate when politicians lecture us.
Yeah.
Oh, you need. Why aren't you lecturing us about literally anything else?
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
But when you're saying that we need somebody in our life, it's like the same thing that politicians have been doing for the better part of my life, the last 15 years, saying you should do this, you should do this. Mostly comes from the left, but sometimes the right does.
No, the right's cracking down. You shouldn't criticize this. You shouldn't say this.
You shouldn't criticize Israel. You shouldn't criticize Donald Trump for potentially being on the Epstein list. In fact, if you criticize me, you're not one of my supporters.
Yep.
What?
And if you're here legally and you criticize Israel, you're getting deported.
Yeah, that's a little crazy. That's a little crazy.
And but guess what? We figured out that Bibi Netanyahu likes Whoppers, and that's important.
Yeah, that's the groundbreaking information that we learned here.
He likes zesty sauce and the onion rings and fucking... God damn it. I hate...
politics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. The tiny head people. Well, yeah.
God, they fucking run the media.
Oh, they do.
Luke, congratulations on everything that you've done with this show. I don't know what you want to say about it if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, so tomorrow will be monetized. Today is Tuesday the 22nd. Tomorrow we will have our watch hours update. We have 19 left to go before we hit 4,000.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I'll have a video out once it happens, but this episode won't get posted. I'm not making any more content for YouTube until I'm monetized.
Really?
There's no more. I mean, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, it's been a long fight.
Dude,
we've been doing this. Thank you, sir. And I'll reiterate this in the video when it does officially happen. But I mean, we've been at this for almost a year now, doing the podcast again, putting out clips, putting out long form stuff, and we've really started to hit our stride, both with Innocent Villains and my personal podcast as well. We've both done really, really well. Gained a lot of fans. We still have a long way to go, but I mean, I truly think we could take over the world here. We're just listen. We have, like I said, we have a long way to go. Definitely critiques of this show and the other show too from people in the comments, but they're mostly positive reviews. People entertained, hopefully. I hope that we're bringing some
happiness.
Happiness, entertainment, and nuanced opinions.
Yes.
And Yeah, I mean,
and at the end of the day, it's a comedy show. We hardly laugh anymore.
Yeah.
We just get so pissed off
That's
in
the
Israel.
thing. That's the thing. And I mean, think about when we started out, dude. When I started out was 2021.
Remember the first time I was on the episode?
When I brought you on was 2022. We've been at this for a minute.
That's crazy.
It's been a hard fight. It's been a long, hard fight. It's just surreal that it's finally happening now.
It really is.
We're finally starting to make a dent in this shit, and it's all paying off. So thank you, man.
Yeah, it's not just 6 viewers anymore, dude.
I know. I really appreciate you, and
absolutely, I've believed in you since day one, brother. I really have.
I just love the dynamic that we have.
Yeah, we've been able to grow together.
I love what we're doing. I mean, we've transformed so much since we started to do this shit, man.
Oh my God, how our lives have changed since we were on that fucking couch.
I know. We were going to potentially have like an ugly OnlyFans person on our show, and like we were teetering on potentially having like an OnlyFans person on our show that nobody
Thank God
knew about.
For your fiance. She's
Thank God for me. I didn't want to do it.
No, yes you did.
I didn't want to do it.
No, you did.
I didn't want to do it. Listen, man, and this shit, this is no thanks to any producers, any other people. It's all been fucking me and him. That's it. That's it. Nobody did this shit. We built this shit brick by brick. Fuck anybody else. Fuck the ops. It was only a couple handful of people that actually supported this shit. None of you local people gave a shit, which is fine, which is completely fine. But in reality, I'm not taking the majority of you people with us. Only a select few get to come on the ride. Who knows where this ends? Who knows? Maybe I'm the president one day. If so, God help us. So
yeah, God help us. If so, don't watch anything past 2022.
Yeah. So just thank you, all the viewers. Thank you, Shad.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
We've really come along.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. Please subscribe to the show. What will be offered soon is memberships, because I technically haven't set it up, even though we're eligible. So for as low as 99 cents per month,
you can see my butthole whenever you want.
Well, maybe. Let's not get too crazy here.
Right.
Let's not pimp ourselves out.
Yeah,
but
we're not at our last leg yet.
As low as 99 cents a month, you can support this show. You can support the Luke Papala Show and Innocent Villains podcast, and allow us to make better content. Fund us so we can have more expensive cameras, more expensive microphones, more quality for you, the viewer. Thank you so much for all your support. Please give the show a like and a subscribe. Give us a little naughty comment, perhaps, and we will see you next week. Good night.